Hello and welcome back to the 2024 Aramco Formula 4 Saudi Arabia Championship here this weekend once again at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Invest Saudi Jeddah Gulf Prix from the 31st of March 2024 to the 1st of April 2024. As always, my name is Aaron Thompson. I'm joined now by Luca Philippe.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Jeddah by night.
Yes, indeed, a beautiful circuit here, the Jeddah Corniche circuit, almost 7 kilometers, I believe, 27 corners. And this right now on screen, ladies and gentlemen, is the first and second corner, a very, very interesting section of the track as always. And we saw last weekend the standard maintains, as this is where most of the track action happened in races 1, 2, 3, just a few days ago. Luca, we've seen a lot of action here. Do you think this is going to repeat again this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. Now all the drivers, they have good experience around the track, so all of them, they know better all the little secret corner by corner. So I expect that all of them will start practice now on the right foot, trying to get ready for qualifying. And regarding the action in the races, it has been very good, the last event, just because we didn't have many mistakes. It was very clean. Generally, race 1 and 3, it was a really nice fight, but within, I would say, the respect to each other. So looking forward to see the same today.
Yes, yes, indeed we are. And last week we also saw a very, very dominant red number 49 car driven by Andrej Petrovic. Do you think there's anybody who can challenge him this weekend?
For sure, everybody is trying to look at the data from Andrej, look at his videos, and try to analyze his driving, because as we always say, the philosophy of our championship is to have all the information from the setup, the data, and the videos that is shared between the drivers.
And you can see it does come down to the last second. They're taking every inch they can here. And Sagar Al-Masharj there on screen now for Kuwait with his Italian engineer. That's Alessandro. Alessandro actually CIK World Champion many years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think he was a champion, but for sure he was a good karting driver. And it's also common to
when Luca Philippe says you were a good karting driver, it means something special, huh?
Yes, absolutely. But also because karting is so competitive in all over the world, in national championship and international championship, that is one of those schools where you really learn a lot, and not just learn, but you make the experience that then it's something that stays within your blood, I would say.
Yeah, it's, well, we call it the racing bug. Once you catch it, you can't get rid of it. And here we are now, ladies and gentlemen. Pit lane has gone green, and that looks to me to be the silver bullet. Faisal Al-Kabani, who is actually the race 2 winner here just a few days ago, driving for Saudi. In fact, I believe Jeddah is his hometown, going out on track just ahead of the white number 11 car of Oscar Wirtz.
So, just as a reminder, like in last event, the cars won't refuel between practice and qualifying. So, practice after yesterday open test, it's more about to have a read on the condition of the circuit and refresh everything we have seen and we tested yesterday during the long 6-hour running of testing. So it's more just about reacclimatize yourself with the circuit, with the car, warm everything, warm the engine, warm the car, the brakes and everything. And more than anything, prepare yourself ready for the time attack, which is right after this session. So I think more or less everybody will go for a single run now for practice of 6-8 laps, more or less. And but this is already one of these situations where you want to start on the right foot, you want to try and be at the top of the timing from the very beginning of it.
Yes, indeed, but we've seen some drivers starting to play mind games as well. Is there anybody you think will how should we say it, should strategically time their lap in free practice in order to give everyone a shock going into qualifying?
I mean, after yesterday testing, everybody have seen all the data and all the level, the lap times, so they already know in themselves what is their potential more or less. They just have to go find all the little details and try and put everything together what they've learned. So I advised everybody to look at themselves first rather than hiding the potential to the other guys, because if they do their best job, it's already, you know, mission accomplished.
Yes, agreed. So, Luca, 27 corners here. Have you managed to memorize each corner so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough circuit to remember because you don't find 27 corners that often when you are around a circuit around the world. So, for sure, it's very technical, and at the beginning, it takes, I would say, quite a few laps to remember everything and understand where you are. But also it's difficult because being between walls, it makes most of the corners, they become blind, because on the inside you have the wall, so you cannot really see through the corner. You just have to look at as far as possible, but then the corner after it just appears at the last moment in a sequence. So you really have to know where to stay on track. You don't have that many really straight sections. Also the flat out straight line, where we call straight line in most of the places, it's not actually fully straight. So it's all about memorizing and being aware on where you are on track.
Talking about memorizing, talking about track, going down into the circuit, you always hear the driver coaches saying, you know, you brake at the 95 or you brake just after the 50. How do you determine that, and how do you, I mean, are there different points? Do you like see that, you know, that one green seat in the bleachers, that's where I want you to brake? Or how do you tell the drivers?
Yeah, it's really important to find really good references on track. So every time before going on track, we give them a track map with all the information we have in terms of driving line, where to brake, where to accelerate, where to turn, what gear you put in the corner, which curb you want to use more, which you don't want to use at all, and this and that. And we go through the track walk and analyze everything. And then during the sessions, if we see some of the notes that we made that there is an evolution of the track, or we find new important references that we think are important, then we update all the time this document for all the drivers. So it's open to everybody, and but then all the drivers, they have to make this document for their prospect from their point of view in a car, because when you are sitting in a car, then you have to find your own little things. We try and help them as much as possible, and looking at videos and data, believe me, you can get very accurate. When you say brake 3 meters, 5 meters later, when you are at full speed in 6th gear, more than 200 kilometers per hour, sounds silly, but actually is one of those things that little by little it helps you to improve in every section. If you don't have good references, you can be maybe fast one lap, but it's impossible for you to be consistent and to make sure you improve from one section to the other.
So we usually see in qualifying...
Very close to the wall, sorry.
Very, very close indeed. And that is the red number 49 of Andrei Petrovic. He can't afford a mistake like that. Certainly not in free practice.
Wow. You know what? He went too much on the exit curb, and the exit curb at a certain point, he pulled him over to the left-hand side towards the wall, and he literally missed the wall by inches, if not millimeter. So well, you know, is really looking strong and potentially the guy to beat. So, like you say, he can't afford a mistake. He's in the championship. He made it happen by having an almost perfect weekend last week. So I told him, you're now the guy that just has to do his job. You don't have to now take too much of a risk.
So he didn't listen, huh? It's not back
No,
on
you
the
know,
track.
drivers, they have this characteristic, they don't listen.
Ah, well. Well, it wouldn't be entertaining if they did, would it? So, back to the pit lane now. We can see a yellow car. That would be Omar Alderaan. Is just going out on track. Did you have a chance to talk to Omar in the few days in between the two races, Luca? Because he was battling up there with Faisal Al-Kabani. But let's have a quick look at the replay of Andrej Petrovic.
So this is the long main straight with the hard braking zone where you brake at 80 meters, 90 after the 100 meter, then at the apex turn 1, and then turn 2, then on power on the exit curve. And then,
he did touch a little bit, didn't he?
it's really hard to say if it was just the shadow of the tire on the wall or if it, I don't know. I hope not. It continued pushing, so I guess it's all fine. But it was risky, that was risky.
Yes, indeed. On screen now, the white number 10, Federico Alrafai, is on an out lap. He's letting everybody go past who's already doing a push laps. How hard are these drivers going to be pushing in free practice, Luca? Or are they're just there to warm up, basically, are they?
Yeah, but I'm sure they will push. Like we see now, 2:08 is already like good lap times because we just started the day. So what we say is that the circuit is a little green, which means is you still have to clean a little bit the racing line, and it will become a little faster through the session. But maybe high 7 is the fastest you can go right now on the used tires, but also low weight is already like a good lap time.
Of course, with a feature event here once again, so there's no other support categories putting rubber down. We don't have F3 or F2 putting rubber on, or F1 even putting rubber on the track. So we do see that the lap times suffer because of this, but not to worry, ladies and gentlemen, there's still a lot of action to come. On screen now, the purple number 8 car of Amna Al-Kabasi. She had a quite strong weekend, a quite strong season, I should say. Does she have any plans for this weekend other than to win every race?
I mean, she has a great potential to unlock, so I guess this weekend the qualifying will count more than ever, as with everybody able to test and do a race event already. I think the top 7-8 will be very close, within few tenths of a second, and Amda for sure is one of these boys and girls that is gonna be up there 100%.
Well, she has been all season so far, so I wouldn't be surprised at all. Hopefully we see her back on the top step of the podium, as she was in Kuwait for the second race of the second event there, I believe. But Luca, from your point of view, we've had this conversation last weekend, and I put Oscar Wertz in pole position. Who are you betting for this weekend?
Wow. So, in theory, the easy pick, it will be Andrej, as he has been generally the quickest. I will go for Federico Rifai, as if he wants to fight back for the lead of the championship, then he has to, is in his hand to make the move now. So yeah, I'll say Al Rifai, even if for sure Petrovic and Wurz, they will be all close together. It's gonna be interesting. We also have Sakeral Mosherji that has been improving incredibly, and he will be fast. And Kirill Kutskov as well, I think he's been the second best after Andrej in the last weekend here in Jeddah, so I think he likes this place in particular. So Kirill is also one of those guys that can fight for the pole.
Yeah, well, we saw that last weekend. He was up there in P2 in pole, which is his which is his best performance in qualifying all season. He definitely seems to be jibing well with this track. And on screen now, Federico Al-Rifai with his engineer, that's Diego on the left-hand side of the screen. Looks to me as if he's come into the pit lane to change tyres, and is probably just about ready to get ready to go up for qualifying.
Yes. So basically now they have the first run just to make sure that the baseline of the car is okay, and then they will have the time to prepare the car for qualifying. They just burned the right amount of fuel they needed to in order to make sure that they start qualifying with the right amount of fuel. Not too much, which is weight that you carry around the truck, but not too less, because you want to have enough time to put the lap together. Also because this circuit has a very smooth surface, smooth asphalt, so it could take a little bit longer to do your fastest lap. So it's quite normal in this place to have at least 6-7 laps to build your pace. And we also have seen that most of the drivers, they improve their best lap after the cool down lap. So what they do is they get out for a couple of laps, they warm up, and then they start pushing for 3 laps in a row. That's the tires, they warm up, they and also the driver they take the rhythm, and then they cool down 1 lap, and then they have another 2. So and then normally quite at the end of the session they still improve the lap time. And as a reminder, it's important to set 3 fast laps, as the third fastest is the lap that determines the starting grid of race 3, which is also a race that will deliver full points. So for the guys that are at the front, they will try and do 3 good lap times in order to be up front for race 1 and 3. While for race 2 we have the reverse grid, so it's also the race where we can see quite some action with some other guys that normally they start still up front but more in the middle of the group, that they can try and fight for victories. We have seen quite a few different drivers winning the reverse grid, as we have seen Omar Al-Valed and Al-Darayan. Then we have seen also Al-Mosherji in Kuwait, as we have seen also Amdal Kubesi and Faisal here in Jeddah. So definitely the reverse grid has delivered many different winners, and any result is potentially possible.
Well, maybe the most interesting race for me, because the battle now between Faisal Al-Qabani, who won race 2 last weekend and in the silver number 7 car driving for Saudi, and his compatriot Omar Al-Durain in the yellow number 18 car, is extremely intense, and this second race is going to be very, very interesting once again.
Yes, and I believe that these two, they are good friends, they respect each other, they are both from Saudi Arabia, but they had a fantastic fight, and it has happened for Omar to win the fight in the past, but now here in Saudi last weekend was Faisal that was able to overtake Omar and go for the win.
That silver car on screen now, ladies and gentlemen, that is Faisal Al-Qabani. We call him the Silver Bullet because it is a beautiful vehicle cruising around the circuit. Now let's have a look at the timing screens. Faisal Al-Qabani, ladies and gentlemen, currently doing a 2:09.333 with 7 laps under his belt, still warming up his car, getting ready to go into qualifying. Of course, warming up himself and his mind, his mental state is probably the most important thing in this session. Getting ready to go and getting everything started for qualifying. That's coming up very, very soon indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying, just for your information, should be at 8:45, I believe. 8:45. So it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on in track and qualifying. We saw back in Qatar there was a 2-tire strategy, and last weekend I believe it was mostly a 1-tire strategy. What do you think is going to happen this weekend, Luca?
You know, it's $1 million question. Is last week it was generally better for the single set of tire, with most of the guys, most of the drivers doing that strategy. Apart from Amda Al-Kubaisi, that she made the two stint strategy work, and she was fast and up front both for race 1 and race 3. So I would say that you could make both strategy work. I presume most of the guys will stick with the single session. So you also keep a brand new set of tires for one of the 3 races, which is also potentially one extra joker you want to keep in your pocket, just in case you want to maximize one of the 3 races in particular.
So talking about maximizing races, I mean, do you have any recommendations? What would you do? Would you hold on and push for everything in race 3?
Every time once you are done with qualifying, then it's important to understand where are your starting position for the 3 races. Then you have to understand which one of the 3 you have the best opportunities, and keep the tires for one of the 3. And then for the rest of the event, then you just have to basically use the same set of tires. So then you give in the race that you have the best starting position your best chance. So we'll see somebody using the new set for the reverse grid, and somebody maybe for third, but who knows. Anything can change, but the good thing for us is that, and for this circuit, the degradation is not so high. So even if a fast driver is starting on an older set of tires, he can still have the opportunity to fight for the victory potentially. So the difference is not huge.
On a longer track like this, Luca, especially a flat-out track like this, I mean, are the differences between lap times, would you expect them to be smaller or larger? Would it expand the Coriolis effect, or would you expect something more bunched up grid?
No, I mean, in a circuit like this, it would be normal to have bigger gaps in between cars, as the lap is generally longer, and then it's really tricky. It's mainly a street circuit. I mean, it is a street circuit. It's just that it now became a sort of a
permanent street.
Semi-permanent. Yeah, exactly. It's a permanent street circuit, so a bit unique from this point of view. So it's still a street, so it's technical. So you have to really try and stay as close as possible to the walls, and it's not easy. So you would expect for the gaps to be bigger, but actually, as everybody is improving themselves, everybody is learning from one race to the other, then we tend to see gaps always smaller, just because of that. I think everybody is learning from his mistake, and everybody is learning from each other. So they are pushing each other to a higher level, which is something that it's definitely very positive. Now we have Sakero Mosherji in second position. So, like we said before, Saker is really quick and is improving a lot. The last weekend he also did a good qualifying, and he had a very good standing start, which these things were still something that he had margin to improve, and now the experience and the confidence is coming, and is now able to do everything correctly.
Talking about doing everything correctly, that's exactly what Kirill Kutzkov has got to do this weekend if he wants to get himself higher up in the championship standings. Of course, the light blue number 23 belonging to Kirill on track on screen at the moment, coming around turn 13 with the Aramco branding in the background. And very soon indeed, I think we're going to see Kirill Kutzkov on the top step of the podium, but we have yet to see that this season, if I'm not mistaken. Have you had a word with him? Has he got his strategy set in for this weekend, Luca?
He's very confident as he likes the circuit. He's been very, very competitive last week, and I think he's looking for a win. In the last race of the last event, he had a penalty of 5 seconds because he basically, during an overtaking, he went off the track, and so because of that he didn't give the position back, so he did a penalty. If he completed the overtaking and he kept his position, he would have been third in the championship, so he would have done like a higher jump. But also because at the moment from third to sixth in the championship they are very close, so I'm sure he's looking forward and trying to put himself potentially on the podium for the end of the season. Is not maybe he hasn't started on the right foot, but now definitely he found the potential, the speed, the consistency, but also the confidence. So I'm sure that he is not anymore happy enough with the podium. He would want to win one of the 3 races.
One of the 3? Have you not met Kirill Kutzkov? Kirill Kutzkov is going to win all 3 of the 3, I think, is the goal here this weekend. That Faisal Al-Tabani is on screen, though. He's got his eyes set on race 2 once again. Omar Al-Zurain, his main competition for that race, I believe. And there's going to be a huge battle between the 2 Saudi drivers. You can see Faisal, obviously it takes a toll on you in these cars on this street circuit. It is a very long circuit. Luca, is it a particularly challenging circuit, I mean, from a physical point of view?
I mean, in these days it's quite warm and it's quite humid, and so physically it's definitely quite challenging, but more than anything is mentally difficult, as every time you are arriving at the apex you have to really stay close to the wall, and you have to be really precise with the lines, and then the higher the minimum speed, the higher the average speed, the more you have to focus as your visual and your eyes, your vision has to adapt to the speed. So it's mentally tiring, and they have to be focused as at this speed, just a little hesitation, it could make a big difference in terms of performance. So you can see some of them looking physically more tired than others, but it's also one of those things that when you are in a car and you put the visor down, then you just focus, and you don't feel the fatigue, you don't feel the stress, you don't feel nothing anymore. Once the engine is on, you just go and you try and basically find your mood in your little space on track and in the car, like a little bit in another dimension.
Does everything sort of fade away and you just see asphalt in front of you and speed lines?
Yeah, and when that happens and you are very focused, then you have a weird feeling about how the time goes by. Like sometimes it feels faster, sometimes it feels slower, but it feels definitely different when you are really, really focused, and especially in a street course, you feel more this feeling of trying and get yourself in this maximum focus.
maximum focus, maximum speed, maximum everything here at Formula 4, Saudi Arabia. Fueled by Aramco and of course coming to you from the beautiful Jeddah Corniche circuit. On screen at the moment we have Kirill Kutskov. We spoke about him a few times here in free practice on the right hand side. That's Felipe. Felipe, of course, his driver engineer, the driver engineer responsible for doing exactly what you would expect. Speaking to the driver, going over the data, making sure every ounce of performance from the driver's point of view is on track at all times. Now on screen we have Osama Gazaz. Gazaz here is the data engineer or the car engineer for this light blue number 23 this weekend. Gazaz, a trainee engineer paired with one of our winning European car engineers, of course, to develop the local Saudi talent. On screen now, the green number 99 of Abdulaziz Abu Zanad. Abdulaziz moving forwards in leaps and bounds every event. He took a rookie third in Qatar, and I think he's going to be aiming for another rookie podium here this weekend. Have you had a chance to talk to Abdulaziz this week, Luca?
Yeah, he raised his bar of expectation, but also of quality of driving. So he's been pushing really hard and is very motivated. But now we're really starting to see all the results of the hard work that he has done in these few months. Like, he arrived in the championship with basically no experience in racing cars, very little experience in motorsport in general, but is learning fast, and especially is very motivated, and he asked himself a lot. So he just wants to improve, and I think deep inside he really wants to become successful sooner rather than later. Potentially, if next year he will continue this championship, it could be one of the contenders. He has a lot of potential, but also the hunger to improve.
Yes, indeed, the hunger to improve. Well, we've seen exactly what that can deliver. And in free practice here, we see again Andrei Petrovic on the top step. But that hunger to deliver has put Sagar Almashirj in P2 for free practice, and that might make things very, very interesting in qualifying. Let's have a run over now the results from free practice, ladies and gentlemen. In first place, Andrei Petrovic with a 2:08.213, but we expect that to move dramatically in qualifying. Up just behind him, Sagar Almashirji from Kuwait, driving the light blue number 5 car. They are followed by Oscar Wirtz, Suleiman Zanfari, and Hamda Al-Gabaisi, while Kirill Kutskov, Federico Al-Rafai, Omar Al-Darain, Faisal Al-Kabani, and Amna Al-Gabaisi round out the top 10. Abdulaziz Abu Zanada takes the P11 spot ahead of Abdullah Al-Kabaisi and Jabir Al-Thani. Well, unfortunately, Laura Villas is sick this weekend and is back in the hotel, but we hope to have her back on track very soon indeed. And John Cho Borobio is in the Philippines, having a little bit of trouble getting out into Saudi, but not an issue. I'm sure we'll have him back on track momentarily. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, from me, Aaron Thompson, and Luca Felipe sitting beside me, once again, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope to see you again in qualifying in just a few minutes' time.